And welcome back to part 13 of Whether Jiraya adopted Naruto. This already makes it the longest going what if I've ever done. And I've already kind of thought on this pretty hard. It's like this is not hard, but I've thought on this. This is going to be a long what if. This probably is going to go into like 20 parts, at least, or at the very least high teens. Anyway. So last time on our Naruto What If, they had defeated the Orochimaru and held off the Saiyan invasion. However, the village is weakened. The third Hokage is defeated, and life is kind of trying to reset itself. Obviously, the two advisors go to Jiraiya asking him to be the next Hokage. He declines, saying, "I'm not good. I'm not good at candidate, or I'm not good at candidate. I'm not Hokage material. But if you're looking for a Sonic, there is still one other. Tsunade, we haven't seen her in years. That's true, but I bet you I can find her very well. Also taking Naruto along. What? Why? It's like he's my son, and it could benefit having two individuals who can use Sage Mode and actually sense chakra to find someone of a specific nature. Yeah, because that's using Sage Mode does essentially make them a sensor type when they're using it. So. Jiraiya finds Naruto, and unlike in the original where Naruto's like, no, I've got to try to, get stronger and teach, you have Kakashi teach him the Chidori. Jiraiya basically convinces him to come along by offering to teach him a cool technique. Naruto's like, oh, no. I was like, oh, really? Okay, Dad, where are we going to go? We're going to go fight Tsunade? She's going to be the next Hokage? I mean, are you sure that's... I do think he'd be a little hesitant because he does know a bit of Tsunade's reputation from Jiraiya. So he... but he would agree. I mean, he's probably say, Ino probably meets up with Ino saying he's going to be leaving for a while. He's like, can't I go with you? And Naruto actually asks him, I don't know, Dad, can she? Normally I'd say she could, but you're needed in the village right now. Naruto's my son and student, so he can, and I got permission to take him along anyway. So that we'd have to go through a long route, talk to your dad, talk to the council, justify it. And while we might be able to, it's going to take more time that we just don't have right now. I was like, aw. And then Jiraiya just to pepper. Jiraiya actually being like, basically like a father-in-law, just because he can tell. It's like, these two are going to end up together and make such cute children. And he's like, thinking about the dirty thoughts because he's a pervert. About his own son, no less, and his girlfriend. Underaged, mind you. Pervert. But he's thinking about them in the future as adults, so it's not as creepy. But he quickly asked Ino, I was like, hey, by the way, how are you coming with those jutsu? Well, I've actually got all of them down. I haven't mastered, I've mastered one of them, one of the minor ones, but, and we'll eventually see those ones come to light, the water jutsu we see her learn. And I've got the other ones down, but it just takes so much chakra. I get so tired. I see. I figured that'd be a problem. So, why don't you practice this while we're gone? It's like, well, we're going to be gone for at least a month. So, in the meantime, when you've got free time, try these. They're chakra exercise techniques. They're going to increase your chakra capacity and chakra control. It's like, thanks. That way you shouldn't be able to tire out as much after using those techniques. Sweet. It's like, thanks. And then, Naruto gives Ino a kiss goodbye, and they head off. The whole Itachi and Kisame coming to the Hidden Leaf, that goes the exact same. Kakashi gets knocked out, all that. We'll cut back real quick to Sasuke practicing, and he's practicing with Chidori. And remember, in this version, he's got Shadow Clones that has helped him learn a couple extra techniques, has increased his chakra capacity and control. So he is capable of using more than 2 Chidori. He's capable of about 3 right now. And even then, he's probably not completely winded. He can go on and just be fine after getting some rest and things along those lines. He's pretty much done with the Chidoris after the 3rd, but he can go on with 1 or 2 extra techniques after that. But Kakashi only can do Lightning Blade, I believe. How many times? A Lightning Blade back then, how many times a day could he actually do it? Chidori, I think he only had enough capacity back then for I think he could do the Lightning Blade at least twice. But afterwards, after training for 3 years, he was able to do it 6 times and still keep going. Anyway. And, it sucks they lost his Sharingan, so the Lightning Blade Chidori was kind of lost to him. But in theory, he could still use it, as a technique. As a hand-to-hand technique, he could still use it. And he developed his Purple Lightning as a response to that. He's just like in the original, he is just kind of pissed off a little bit with Naruto. Not that he hates Naruto, but for the longest time until Naruto showed up, he was pretty much the top dog in the class. And while that had never really been a defining trait for him, he secretly liked the fact that he was the best. He liked the fact that he was, and at least no one in his age group could match him at that point. But now you get Naruto showing up, and ever since Naruto showed up, he has always been overall stronger than Sasuke. Sasuke's been maybe a little better than him in some fields like hand-to-hand combat, but he's always overall been stronger. And then watching him take on, I'm not certain Sasuke knows what a tail beast is. He knows what like a tail beast is. He just wouldn't recognize what Shikaku actually was, being the one-tailed beast, a Biju. So I don't know if he would actually register what that was, or in terms of Shikaku. But if anything, he saw him fight a giant monster and beat him. While Naruto is as much stronger as Sasuke's gotten, Naruto's always been that much. Like as Sasuke climbs a little bit, even if Naruto climbs the same amount, Naruto's always seemed to be that much farther ahead of him overall. So it's starting to really gripe on him. He kind of thinks back briefly on the conversation about Orochimaru, and he was offering him power, but what the cost of that power he gives him would be. What does he have to give in return? So he is conflicted a little bit. He's like, this guy's bad, but could he really give me power enough to beat Itachi and even be stronger than Naruto? No. And then he's conflicted. Then he hears about the whole incident, and then he goes off to find Itachi. So we cut to Naruto in the room meditating. And one of the things Naruto, I think, would really be doing, and I think he's been doing this for a while now, is trying to just speed and get into Sage mode a lot quicker. That was one thing that Naruto was doing in the original. And after a while, he could just kind of go into it. He was, even while moving, we actually saw him pretty much just quickly go into it. Or at least just move, stop, go into it, go again. We saw him basically just like that. Now, Naruto, I don't think is still there yet, but I think he can take about 10 seconds to get into Sage mode at this point, because it's something he's continually practicing on. So, he's just sitting there with a couple clones, too, just in, out, in, out, in, out. Then he gets the knock on the door, and he just happens to be in Sage mode when he gets the knock on the door. And because he's essentially a sensor type while he's in Sage mode, he immediately says, that's not Jiraiya. There's two of them. What? One of them feels remarkably like Sasuke's chakra. What is that? And this guy, and he says, holy, this guy has more chakra than the Shikaku did. It's like, and then Kurama's like, we need to get out of here. We need to find the old man right now, because I don't know what these guys are, but I'm getting a bad vibe from both of them, and I'm the nine-tailed fox, for God's sakes. So he quickly creates a clone. Yeah, gives himself a head start, and then basically his clone just said, yeah, coming. And then, he just said, can I help you? And again, he reacts like, Naruto, we'd like you to come with us, please. Come on, Itachi. We know he's not going to come willingly. Let me shave his legs off so he can't run away. And you'd think that Itachi would know immediately that's Shadow Clone, but because the Sage mode is also there, that does disrupt things a little bit. Now, after a few moments, I think he does realize it, and this is a Shadow Clone, Kisame. He's on the move. Let's go. Now, Naruto is trying to beeline towards Jiraiya. Not trying to find Jiraiya. He knows where Jiraiya is thanks to Sage mode. But trying to beeline it towards Jiraiya. Unfortunately, Kisame uses a water technique. And Naruto can also sense that they're on his tail and can sense he's not going to get to Jiraiya in time. So he sends a clone ahead and basically lures them into an empty street so that no innocence gets get in the way. And, Naruto basically just squares off with them in the street. And it's like, all right, who are you? And what do you want? I know who you are. You're Itachi Uchiha. But you got a sword like Zabuza, but I'm not certain exactly where you, not exactly certain, what you want. Oh, so you met Zabuza. Oh yeah, he's in our village right now, actually. He just joined up with us. By the way, I could have made it so Zabuza and Kisame clashed, but I actually think Zabuza would want to be like Kakashi. Well, they weren't at the moment, but would be one of the ninja who they're sending on, missions to keep up their strength, because he'd want that. Zabuza would want the assassination missions, the cool missions, things along those lines. So, I think Zabuza would be out of the village at that point. Though it would be cool to see them clash again. I won't lie. And Zabuza, let's be honest, Kisame and Zabuza were the coolest individuals of the Seven Swordsmen. Chojiro, no. We don't know any. Raiga is an anime character, so no. But his swords are actually canon. The twin Kiba are actually canon. But the actual swordsman itself, no. Anyway, so Zabuza is alive, and he joined a little village. That's cool. Maybe I'll have to stop by against it and send my regards. Yeah, sure. So what do you want? It says your clone dispelled. You should know. You should know what we want, Naruto. We want you to come with us. Yeah, so you can join. So I can just join. You can join up so I can just go to the Akatsuki and you can just use the Nine Tails for your regards. And they're both surprised. Like, what? But Itachi quickly, comes to it and just says, it's not really surprising. Jiraiya is his father. He probably has some information on us. You're correct, but you misunderstand, Naruto. We want the Kyuubi's power so we can create peace in the world. We can explain it all to you if you just come with us. Yeah, and then just basically Naruto has two Rasengan going in his hand and pumping Sage Mode into him. We're not getting like the giant Sage Mode ball like that Jiraiya used or that Naruto used later on. But he does pump up the Rasengan size a little bit. So instead of like your standard orb, there may be like not a softball, more like a volleyball. So you got two basically it's great. His great ball Rasengan. That he used against the Itachi clone and ship it in there. So about that size. His powers like, yeah, how about no? It's like and then he tried very well, Naruto. You give us no choice. And it's like, can I finally come out? In a minute, Kisame. Let's try it my way first, and if not, we'll try it yours. And then he just tries the Genjutsu, but it doesn't work because Kurama's like, no. It's like, don't worry, kid. That's not going to work on me. And then he just charges in. Fine, I got it. And it's like, I got him, Kisame. And then just takes out Samahata and just, I'm not going to shave you to bits, kid. Don't worry, I'll keep you alive long enough to get the Kyuubi. Get the Nine-Tailed Fox. But as he does it, Itachi is noticing something odd about Naruto's chakra. Because the Sharingan can't see chakra networks like the Byakugan can. Byakugan can. But it can see chakra on some level. And he is seeing, what's this? Now, Itachi probably has knowledge of nature chakra, just not of what Sage Mode initially looks like. Because he was aware of it when he fought Kabuto. And he quickly realizes what is going on. He's like, Kisame, get out of the way! And he actually yells. And the fact that Itachi yelled caught Kisame off guard. Like, what? And basically, Naruto's throwing these attacks at Samehada, and I saw this in a fan manga. It's Dragon Ball Beyond, where Goku got sent to the Naruto world. And Kisame actually fought Jiraiya in Sage Mode. Because Samehada actually gets the hell out of the way because nature chakra is not something he wants to deal with or eat because he could turn to stone. It's like, what? And then Naruto hits him full on because he's just distracted both by Itachi and his sword. And he's not dead. Kisame's a tough son of a bitch and can even absorb some chakra on his own. But damn if that didn't hurt. Just, damn brat! What the hell was that? Why didn't you, Samehada, why did you desert it? He's using, Kisame, it seems he learned quite a bit from Jiraiya. He's using nature chakra. If your sword had absorbed it, it would have turned to stone and died. And all its abilities lost. What? He's using Sage Mode. And then Naruto's like, ha! It's like, well, take that! But Naruto's really just, keep putting up a front. He knows that he got a lucky. Naruto's actually, I think, a very realistic person in this version, in this canon, because he knows full well the level of his abilities, but time frame against Zabuza, Orochimaru, and Kisame, they underestimated him. That's why he's able to get these lucky hits in. And even then, he never actually beat Zabuza or beat Orochi. He certainly didn't beat Orochimaru. He got out of there. If Kisame wasn't Kisame the way he is, he could have theoretically just killed him right there. But Kisame's like, oh god, you're gonna regret that, kid. What is it? And it's like, looks like we have no choice. And then, a skirmish happens. Naruto is able to hold him off. Sage Mode seriously helps him in this regard. And Kurama even says, kid, use some of my chakra. But, Naruto's like, I don't know if it'll mix with the Sage Mode. Well, we don't have much choice. You even in Sage Mode, your Sage Mode isn't going to last forever. and even in Sage Mode, you're only able to hold these guys off. And it's like, fine. So he pumps it. So he tries to put a little of Kurama's chakra in him, and that's where the Sage Fox mode comes in. So now he's not using tail mode right now because he didn't want to try to overdo it, and it's about balancing it out. So he's only got maybe about an extra minute left on the Sage mode right now. But in that mode, he quickly overtakes them for a brief moment. Just, whoa! It's like, and he's even like, whoa! The amount of power I'm doing. Whoa! At this point, he would be considered a high Jonin, maybe verging on Kage level individual, just in terms of his chakra abilities. But it's still amount of level of I need to learn to control this. Like, and he's draining pretty fast too. He'll still have Kurama's chakra, but he's quickly where it's like, yeah, that sort of will be able to absorb my chakra. It can't absorb your Sage chakra, but it can absorb my chakra. He creates as many clones as he can, and then has a couple hightail it. Use the wind dome to protect them from Itachi's assault. And just as he runs out of Sage chakra, and Kisame comes in, all of a sudden, Sasuke shows up. It's like, Itachi! It's like, oh, Sasuke. So how you been, little brother? I did what you said, Itachi. I lived to hate you. I got about just to kill you. And then, he comes in and just tries to kill him. Doesn't work, obviously. Catches the hands. Like, you never have enough hate, little brother. You know what? You never will. And then, he puts him in the Genjutsu, but immediately realizes something's off. And he just has enough time to avoid the pale lightning attack. Basically what the technique I gave him from Bleach. And there's the real Sasuke on a rooftop trying to basically assassinate him, just like snipe him. And then the clone pops, because thankfully he knows the Shadow Clone Jutsu. I must admit. Then Itachi looks on him again. He's like, I must admit, little brother, that was quite the little diversion. I didn't pick up it was a clone. And you have grown quite a bit. But you know what? You still haven't grown enough. And he's still making eye contact with Sasuke, which unfortunately was Sasuke's mistake because he's so angry. And then he just drops. At that point, Jiraiya shows up. That goes the exact same. Guy comes, dynamic entry, boom! And then, they go off. So now we cut to them looking for Tsunade. And unfortunately, until they know what town until they get to each town, they can't necessarily, because the thing, Jiraiya can use his connection to find Tsunade, but they can also use Sage mode. Now, Naruto doesn't know what Tsunade's chakra sense feels like. And as far as Jiraiya knows, her chakra could have changed. So until they know that she's in the town, they're not going to bother trying to use Sage mode on that. But there is going to be a little training here. Because Naruto is just like, he's talking about, what he did with Sage mode and the Fox chakra. So, that's something we're probably going to have to work on, Naruto. And then, then Naruto says about other things working on. Yeah, about that. I was thinking about the Rasengan. I mean, it's a great technique, and he creates one right there. But it just seems it's simple. It seems incomplete. And then Jiraiya actually brings something. Well, that's the thing. Your father actually wanted to actually add his own chakra nature into it to complete it. It's incomplete. It's supposed to be the epitome of shape change in nature. And then whatever the attack would be. And Naruto's like, well, why couldn't he complete it? Well, he died before it. I've tried it myself, but I just can't do it. I haven't figured out how to do it. So Naruto's like, well, I guess maybe that's something he'll work on. It's like, all right. And remember, it took about a month, I think, for them to find Tsunade in a week, at least. Maybe not a week to find her, but overall, their whole trip lasted like a month and a half or something like that. So Naruto's, focusing on the chakra, trying to get it. He's trying all things he can. And one thing he does figure out is when he uses his Tornado Fist attack along with the Rasengan, first off, he can launch the Rasengan out of his palm. But the wind does start to mix with the Rasengan and not the Rasenshuriken, but the wind style's Futon Rasengan is formed as a byproduct of that. But he can't seem to figure out how to do it on his own. And, he's using his clones, all doing it the same way, forming chakra in there. And here's the thing. We know how he does it in the canon, is that he uses a clone to impart wind chakra on there while he's forming the Rasengan. In my mind, mind you, because he takes a clone in the original form to make just one Rasengan. And then another one to create the wind chakra. In my mind, at least, he should, in theory, use wind chakra in one hand, Because it's like Yamato explained it, actually. With one hand, he creates water, uses water chakra. With one hand, he uses earth chakra, and he creates the wood chakra when he combines them together. In theory, he can create the Rasengan with one hand while using wind chakra with the other, and that should be able to make the wind shuriken. Now, I will flat out say, if he wants to do the Rasenshuriken, I'm going to have him use a clone for that. I think that's fair. And he's nowhere near ready for that, to use, like, create a Rasenshuriken. But I do think after a while he kind of picks up on the ideas, like, well, what if because he's using the clones for multitasking anyway, what if I create wind chakra on this hand? And slowly but surely, he realizes he's forming the wind shuriken. He is, well, wind shuriken, the wind Rasengan. He does form, and he shows up with, and he also has water chakra too, so he does form the water Rasengan as well. He tries it with both of them. Now, it's still a lot of trial and error. So when Jiraya, comes back to see how his training's going, Naruto's kind of passed out, but he wakes up, like, oh, Dad, you're going to be so proud. It's like, yeah, well, did you do it, son? And then Naruto just smiles. Let me show you something. So he does the first one, the Futon Shuriken. Now, to be clear, he could create like a Sage version of this too. It wouldn't be the Rasenshuriken, but it'd be like a super great ball Futon Shuriken, which would be devastating. You probably have a similar power level, not quite to the scale of Rasenshuriken, but maybe like half the power, which would still be devastating. But he creates the Futon Shuriken, and he just Jiraiya's like, whoa. It's like, but how, that and then Jiraiya, he explains to Jiraiya, he's like, all I had to do really was, divide and conquer. All I had to do was use wind in one hand while I'm forming the Rasengan in the other hand. And if I want to do two of them at the same time, and just create two clones for that, and they both basically channel the wind chakra into my hands. And Jiraiya immediately was like, that's so simple. When you think about it too, it really is simple. Because while the training method of the shadow clones is really only really best suited for Naruto because he can create them in mass with no problem, the way he created the wind-style Rasenshuriken is, in the wind-style Rasengan, anyone who can theoretically use clones and has expertise in their nature chakra should be able to, in theory, do that. I've had some people try to explain why no one else, like Kakashi explained, this style of training only suited to you. To which I kind of have to say, is it? I mean, the clone training, yes. And though anyone with a shadow clone could, in theory, train. Why is that only suited to him? Is it because of his chakra reserves? Well, that doesn't have anything to do with this. It's not about your chakra reserves. It's about how you're channeling the chakra into your technique. And the shadow clones are there so you don't have to divide and conquer mentally as much. So why couldn't Kakashi do that? Why couldn't Jiraiya do that? Why couldn't anyone? Because we know Boruto learns a lightning style release Rasengan. It's the Vanishing Rasengan. That's what the Vanishing Rasengan is. It's a lightning release Rasengan. So that actually kind of contradicts the whole thing. And yeah, you can say that's Naruto's kid, but really, he's nothing. Honestly, he's nothing compared to his dad. From the little I know about Boruto, he really isn't anything compared to his dad. At that age, he would completely obliterate Kid Naruto. Absolutely. Because he's a genius in comparison. I digress. So Jiraiya's like, and then he does the water one. Now, the water one, I've always kind of, played around with the water one a bit. One thing someone told me that I thought was really cool was that the water Rasengan, while could do damage, because it's kind of like a raging torrent in your hand, would be great as a sealing Rasengan, because you basically impart a seal into it. And whatever, like Naruto, for instance, imparts a paralysis seal into it. The seal matrix goes into the swirling water Rasengan, and then it basically soaks the entire user in there and just envelops them in a water seal while like blowing them back. I think that's a cool idea. So that's what Naruto shows up for his dad. And it's like, yeah, I mean, honestly, you could do it too, Dad. I mean, it's really just about, and he explains it's just about using, you can use shadow clones. Your chakra reserves are used too, so it's all about using the shadow clone. He explains it, and Jiraiya's even like, and he's like, why not give it a try? He just creates a shadow clone, and he tries it with the water. He actually does try, because he also has a water, actually no, he had a fire and earth. So he tries it with a fire style. That seems the most realistic. And at first he's struggling, but he does start to, when he starts to just ease the fire in, because each nature is slightly different, the fire just the Rasengan just starts to glow red hot. It's like, it looks like a little mini sun in his hand. So he does actually create it briefly, and fires it and just incinerates a tree. Just boom, there's just a round perfect, whoa. It's like, awesome, Dad. It's like, yeah. And then he tries the Earth one, and the Earth one, I imagine, is actually a weird containment type of jutsu. With like, because it's kind of what happens is you see the chakra core, the glowing blue, but you see this basic like Earth just rotating around like a gravitational pull, like a rotation around the Earth, and he just slams it, and he creates it on a clone, and the clone basically just seals and just pops out of existence. And him and Jiraya just like, oh, it's like boom, they just fist bumps like, that's my boy. It's like, all right, Dad, yeah, we're awesome. Within a day, well, no, it took Naruto a while, but within a day, it's like, I just did what your father never did. Ha! One up that guy. He laughs like, I'm sure your dad would have figured it out eventually. Now, you may think I made that really easy. In essence, when you think about how Naruto did it, again, I just think on the fact that Kakashi says this is a style that only works for you, a method that only works for you. Why? Really? If you're capable of using clones and have enough chakra if you have a decent amount of chakra, you don't have to have Naruto amounts of chakra, honestly, in my mind. You just have to have nature control, know the Rasengan, and do that. So, now, if you want to try to spam that, that's different. That is a different thing. But again, using your hand, you can try to explain to me. In my mind, it seems pretty simple when you actually see how they did it. I digress, though. So, yeah, now they all have Noser Sengans under their belt. That's all the training they'll get on it right now. They do finally find Tsunade in that bar, and that's going to be basically where we end up. It's like Tsunade looking up, like, oh, Jiraya. If it isn't a day for reunions with old friends. Who's the brat? And we're leaving it there for right now. So that's part 13 of what Jiraya adopted Naruto. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. 90s for would win. Star Wars, Super Magic, what if? Anything to do on the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I'll do that at some point. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Later.